All right, boys, before we get into the pod, the big game is right around the corner. I'm so fired up. You guys already know we're going to be firing on Prize Picks. Boys, for the big game, take advantage of the free square on Prize Picks. Patrick Mahomes, free square. If you're like me and you're going to be firing on Prize Picks while watching the game, that's pretty obvious. Tack on Mahomes to your lineup. It's just going to boost your entire payout. Easy money. Mahomes is probably going to snap. Brig, Taylor Swift's singing 22 at the game and shit. We already know what's going to happen, so tack on Mahomes, boost the whole lineup. And boys, take advantage of code NELK. If you use this code and put in $5, you get $50 for free. No strings attached, it's that easy. Use code NELK. But yeah, boys, use code NELK, download the Prize Picks app. Big games around the corner. Let's get into the pod. We were standing right there and the tiger jumped up there.
Crazy, right? Just wait till you see what I got set up.
Look at this guy.
Whoa! This legit looks like Jurassic Park. Fishies.
Kyle, you want to feed the fish or anything, or are you chilling?
No, we're talking. Wait, are those piranhas?
Oh, that's cool.
Oh.
So welcome to the central viewing gallery. We've got a couple kitties here.
Holy shit. This is crazy.
You're gonna have to be Got him.
This might be the craziest podcast setup that we've ever done.
Right? I'm really jealous because I want to do one of my pods in the central viewing gallery.
This is insane. So what area is this?
So this is called the central viewing gallery, and there's 6 different enclosures with all these windows. But as you can see, their enclosures go way back. So they're a huge area. But at night with the lights on and people in here, they just want to see what's going on.
This is crazy. So yeah, no, we've been trying to do a pod with you for a while too.
Like going on a year.
I think we wanted to do it when Steiny was here, Brad was here too, but
yeah.
Basically Steiny, he just completely bailed on this trip.
Why?
I told you a little bit about it. I think he's like scared of international countries.
Well,
so
we
even
scared the shit
Dubai,
out of him last time,
we scared the shit out of him last
yeah.
time. I was surprised that he came to the tribe.
Yeah, me too.
But Dubai, he always passes up on.
Yeah.
Anything international, he's very scared of. But I cannot believe he missed this trip. Because if you guys don't know, we're in India right now. We're at a place called Ventara, which we'll talk about. We're going to talk a lot about it. But basically, Forrest, you hit us up and you were talking about it even during the tribe.
Yeah.
About the possible chance of us coming to India.
Yep.
And basically seeing India like nobody ever sees it.
No.
And we've been here for about almost a weekish now. And it has just been absolutely insane.
Mind-blowing, right?
I knew it was going to be crazy based on what you said, but we are just mind-blown at the hospitality and just like the way we're being treated, the things we're doing, the food. It's just been insane. So we can't thank you enough for setting us up.
It's my pleasure. I'm stoked you took me up on the offer because I love this place.
Yeah.
I mean, I really do. I'm here just because I love it. No other reason. And it's really cool because Indian culture is if you're a guest, you stand above all else. Like it is paramount to them here in India that if you're a guest that they treat you like royalty, like better than their own family. And you're getting to experience it. I mean,
so
it's on another
explain
level.
Where we are and what your role is here and stuff like that and what we're doing in India.
Yeah, with pleasure. So as you know, to describe why I'm here, I'm seen as a pretty big authority on wildlife.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been working with wildlife my whole life. And so I've heard about this place for several years, and it's called Ventara, and it's owned by one of the richest people in the world, Anant Ambani. And sort of similar to me, he's loved wildlife his entire life. When he was 6 years old, he used to run around the streets of Mumbai rescuing street chickens and taking them back to like his parents' house. It started with that when he was 16. He rescued one elephant, and he was like, where am I going to put that elephant? So he built that elephant facility. Then he built another one. Then he built another one. So he's been building this place for a while, and it's growing at a rate that you cannot explain. So this is Ventara. It's the world's largest wildlife rescue and rehab facility, and every animal here has been rescued from all corners of the globe.
We've seen, today we saw tigers, we saw lions, we saw bears, we saw elephants that were mistreated and stuff like that.
Circus fires and abused, logging trade, everything.
How did you first meet Mr. Ambani?
So because of what I do with wildlife, I had been told to him by several people that work here full time. They're like, you got to get this guy Forrest. You got to get this guy Forrest. And
have you seen how he what is it like when he rolls around? We haven't met him yet, but we've heard what does it look like when one of the richest people
I mean, you know how you've been treated since you've been here.
Yeah.
He rolls around on another level to that. But what's so great about him as a person is like, no, he does that when he has to for security reasons. Then he comes here and it'll just be him and I going for a walk for an hour, talking about what's the best way to keep crocodiles. And we'll walk around for 1 hour and just discuss that and just be like, well, how do you, what do you think about this? Like, how many animals should we have in this pond? Like, is it too many? And it'll just be him and I at 2 a.m. walking around. So he's just like a very leveled headed, down to earth guy. He's just come up in this crazy world. You know what I mean? Like nothing matters. Like it's not about financial. It's about the realization that he's had, Anant Ambani has had, that wildlife is the most important thing on this planet. And to me, while all these other billionaires are in like a measuring contest to race to space, he's like, I'm just going to save what's on the planet, which I think's awesome.
The tribe video we did, I know you guys, everybody loved that video that we did.
Oh, good.
Like they loved it.
It was a lot of fun.
That tribe was like, a lot of people were saying it was like fake or like, what can you say about it on the legitimacy of it?
Oh, fully legitimate. Brett, who we hung out with, is
Yeah.
the only person that's ever been accepted into that tribe. We are one of a handful of Western groups that have ever been there. People think that tribes are like, you know, so deep in the jungle some of them had cell phones. You know, they didn't work. There was no cell phone signal. You know, some of them had NFL like Super Bowl t-shirts from 2002. You know, like they get stuff, but they're still a remote tribe that are still primarily uncontacted.
Yeah.
You know, like yes, other missionaries have been there. That's why some of them are Christian, but it's not like there's tours over there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You saw,
Yeah. No, that was as remote as it gets.
Yeah.
What?
All right, guys, if you guys are into crypto or thinking about getting into crypto, you guys need to hear this. MoonPay is the best app. It makes it so easy to buy and sell crypto. You can use any type pretty much of payment. You can use Apple Pay, Venmo, like literally Venmo, PayPal, credit card, debit card, ATM card, even your bank account. I don't know any other app that has that many different types of payment providers. If you're holding different types of crypto like Bitcoin, Doge, whatever, Solana, you could track the prices in real time on the MoonPay app as well. So that's sweet. You never have to bounce between different apps. And one thing I also love about MoonPay is their service is top notch, no trash ass service. They have 24/7 customer support that's there for you no matter what. So if you guys have a friend or a family member that wants to get into crypto, recommend the MoonPay. Trust me, it's the easiest app to use. Your grandma could use it. If you guys are following us on Instagram and X, Nelp Boys, we're giving away $1,000. We've already done it twice, every single Monday with MoonPay. No strings attached. It's so simple. All you gotta do is download the app and then DM us your username on Instagram or X. We're literally posting it every single Monday, $1,000. If you want a shot to win $1,000, download the MoonPay app. I'll drop the link in the description of this podcast, and then DM us your username, send us proof of your username. We're choosing someone every single Monday. Very, very simple, $1,000. You might win one week.
Was there ever a time that you went to like a tribe that was more remote than that, or like something bad happened?
Yeah, we've been chased around a lot. I mean, that's about as remote as a tribe gets, but I've had way scarier run-ins. Like we were sentenced to life in prison in Myanmar for smuggling a drone into the country during the Rohingya massacre, which was this big like religious massacre. We got chased out of Mozambique by corrupt government officials because of some like nefarious activity with Chinese loggers. I mean, we've had some like pretty crazy stuff. We've been shot at. Like we've had some crazy stuff.
How did you like start?
I mean, I grew up in Africa. I grew up in Zimbabwe, and my family, like we had a small bush plane because my family ran safari businesses. So we just traveled all over Africa, as remote as we could get. Like, you know, collecting artifacts, seeing wildlife. That's just like what my family did. And I just sort of kept chasing that. And after school, after college, I was like, I'm going to be a biologist. I'm going to change the world. I'm going to go save animals. And I came out of school and got a job as a biologist. And I was making like $14 an hour being a field tech. So like the guy who like actually catches the rattlesnakes, or the guy who puts collars on the foxes or whatever. And then I was really good at that. So I got promoted quickly. And then as soon as you get promoted in biology, that means you're working in an office writing grants. So I got promoted and was like, I hate this. I want to go back to the field. And I remember talking to my boss, Morgan. I was like, I want to go back to being a field tech. He's like, you're going to make half the money. I was like, I don't care. I'd rather be a field tech. So I like hit a dead end in biology where I couldn't be doing the stuff I love. And I was like, this is a waste of time. So I made the jump from that to like full on media, which is what, you know, I do conservation communication now, basically.
What was like your first like big break with like TV and stuff like that? Like how'd you become like the Forrest Galante that we know now?
I hate this question. My first big thing on TV is really funny. I got back from being a biologist sat down on the couch. I'd been 3 months on a field survey and I was exhausted, like roasting hot, everything. Fell down on the couch, and Naked and Afraid was on TV. You ever seen that
Yeah,
show?
yeah.
So I did that show.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. That was my
Oh my
first
God.
foray into TV. But, you know, like Survivor, The Bachelor, whatever, thousands of people have done that show. I managed to take that, and while everybody else was like crying or moaning or whining about surviving, I was like out catching snakes and showing them the camera while my own snake was hanging out. And the producers were like, "Why are you doing this?" I was like, "I don't know. Snakes are cool." And then after that happened, I was like, all right, that reached 4 million people. Like a paper that I wrote, academic paper, reached 400. Like, why am I studying science? This is a waste. I'm not going to change the world doing this. So I just started pursuing media and pursuing media. It took 3 years from the day I decided that and quit my biology job till I got my first TV show pilot. I was living on fumes. I'd save up for like a month just to be able to fly to New York to pitch stuff, and never got anything sold. It took 3 years.
And how'd you get good at the production side of stuff? Because you have like, you obviously know your stuff when it comes to wildlife and all that with the knowledge, but you also know your shit when it comes to entertainment. I've noticed too.
Yeah,
obviously.
thanks. It's all learned. I mean, never taken a film studies class or anything like that in my life. It's all learned. But I started, my first series was called Extinct or Alive, where we looked for extinct animals. And I was basically working for someone else, and I was watching how they did it. And I was just very quietly observing and learning the whole time. And by the time season 2 came around, as the biologist, they're like, what should we do to me? And I was like, well, if you want me to tell you what to do, I need to be a producer. I can't just be the on-camera talent. And so I became a producer. And then after that, I was like, well, I'm going to start my own company. Like, I get it. I've seen how this works. And there's been some big ups and downs with that. Lost a lot of money, made money, like pitched some terrible shows, had big failures, but it's all like trending in the right direction.
What's that business like with wildlife and production? Like what have you noticed? Like what are they looking to buy? And like what are you looking to shoot? You know what I mean by that? Like,
yeah. Well, I don't have a British accent, so that doesn't help.
you're with that,
I'm
yeah.
Yeah, like if you're just a British guy and you walk into a room in America, they're like, wow, take my money and make a wildlife show.
Do you know all those narrators that do all those wildlife?
Yeah, all of them.
Are they, I feel like they're like cocky or like they're those guys.
For sure. Yeah, British guys just like think, you know.
I mean,
like,
if you talk like that too, you're probably a lot of chicks too.
Yeah, I mean, and good for
like
them.
the guys that narrate wildlife shit.
Oh, yeah.
Like they probably get laid.
Dude, in these little circles, like, oh man, I'm a big deal in my tiny little world.
That's kind of a flex at a party. Like if you say like, what do you do? Like I narrate for National Geographic.
It's a flex at a party if you're at a party with a bunch of nerds.
Yeah.
It's not a flex at a regular party.
It's not?
Nah.
I feel like that could work on chicks, honestly.
I mean, it's worked for me.
Yeah.
But
but like the business of that, what are they, is there a lot of show business with it or like?
It's harder now because TV's just dying,
Yeah.
right? Like I'm sure of everybody watching this, you're watching on YouTube. 99.9% of people don't even have cable anymore. But you know, that's why I started YouTube like a year and a half ago now. And for many, many years, like making wildlife TV, presenter-led wildlife TV has been very fruitful and productive. And it's hard though, because you're competing with companies like Silverback, which does all of the like Planet Earths and Blue Planet and stuff like that. And you walk in the room and they're like, you're 26 years old and you're pitching me a wildlife show. Like, I could buy that, or I could go buy something from David Attenborough, who's been doing it for literally 90 years. And it's like, you know, it was hard. I had to fight my way through it. But every show I've ever made has been pretty successful. And so we just keep pushing.
Those shots, like, let's say some of the craziest stuff you filmed, how long do you have to, like, sit there and wait for, like, a shot sometimes?
So long. So long.
Is there any story specific you could tell us of something
I don't
crazy?
do it anymore, to be honest. I used to do it in the early days.
Yeah.
Now, like, some of my team who you met today, my camera guys will sit and do it. But they'll be sitting in a blind for days, 6-7 days to get one shot.
Really?
Yeah. And the guys who do like the BBC stuff will sit for like 6-7 weeks to get a shot.
So that's what I mean. If you're waiting 6 to 7 weeks to get like a sick shot of a tiger,
Yeah.
how much are they paying for that shot?
Not much. Well,
Like
but
they can't
the
be paying
company, a
yeah.
lot.
How
But
much?
those are like the big blue chip projects, like Planet Blue Chip is like pure nature, right? I've carved out a niche in like presenter led nature. So like I'll present a show, host a show, or I sell shows with people presenting. They're a whole different ball game. Like those BBC projects are like $10 million an episode. My shows are like $200,000 an episode. They're a whole different like ball game. So we'll still like have a pretty small team and put in a lot of effort and time to make a show. But it's, for me, it's not about sitting on a mountain waiting for a snow leopard to come down the mountain. It's like, okay, I need to show what a snow leopard is. What do I need to do to get to the snow leopard? So while most guys will sit in a blind with a piece of bait waiting, I'll have to like go up the mountain and find the thing. And that's harder.
Yeah, because honestly, on YouTube when I'm bored, I'll just watch animal videos too. Like, I think I've seen every type of like predator attack video, or
Yeah.
like, I love the predator ones.
That's
but
great. I mean, we're
yeah,
surrounded by them.
this is crazy. Yeah. What was your craziest story with like a close call?
The closest call I've ever had is self-induced, and it was like 3 years ago now. And we were milking sea snakes. So we're catching sea snakes in Australia to test their venom potency. And sea snakes are like 100 times more potent than a cobra. So like really deadly venom.
So a sea snake is in the water?
Yeah, a snake
Okay.
that lives in the sea.
Okay.
And we're catching, they have tiny mouths, tiny fangs. So you take the snakes and you pipette the like little like scientific tube, like pipette the venom out of their fangs. And it's not like an exact science. So the venom was like dripping down the outside onto my fingers. And then I started arguing with my cameraman, Mitch. Literally, as I just finished milking the snake, I was like, dude, fuck off. And I put my fingers in my eyes like this. And I thought I still had the venom on my fingers. And I was just like, oh, I just killed myself. Like, I just thought I'd rub sea snake venom in my eye ducts, which will enter straight into your bloodstream. And I was like, whoop, I just killed myself. Because I'm like a day from anything. Like, I'm not getting to a hospital, nothing. And so for like 6-7 hours, I was like, I'm definitely going to die. I'm going to fall over dead any minute. And it was just like the anxiety of fighting that and not knowing what to do and being way too far. And like, I didn't tell anybody on my team because I was like, I'll just stress them out and that'll make me more stressed out. So I was like, all right, I'm just gonna wait. I'm gonna go to bed and hope I just don't wake up. And I just woke up the next morning. I was like, whew, okay, didn't do it.
And you've been struck by lightning too, right?
Yeah.
You told the story, I'm sure, but
yeah. We're filming a Garmin watch commercial in the Everglades on the side of a road, very famous area called Loop Road. And there's like a thunderstorm. And my cameraman was like, dude, get out of the water. There's too much thunder lightning. I was like, shut up. Stop being such a... Like, nobody cares. And then literally like a minute later, Kyle was there. A minute later, the lightning hit the water like 15 feet behind me.
And did you feel anything?
Oh,
like,
yeah. Are you kidding me?
What did it feel like?
My whole like legs went like jelly. And I was like, ugh, like couldn't walk. Like every muscle in my legs and butt tightened up. And it was just for like a flash second where it all just contracted and then released. And then I like ran out of the water and had this crazy like adrenaline spike. But then when I came down from it, I had the taste of metal in my mouth for like a week. It just tasted like metal. I couldn't taste any food. And my butt was super sore. Like I'd just done like 1,000 squats. It was really weird.
That's insane.
All right, guys, I want to give a shout out to our sponsor of the pod, Shopify. I love this sponsor because it's so close to home. We have literally used Shopify from the very beginning, since day one, to power Full Send merch from the very beginning, from like 10 to 12 years ago. And now we use it for Happy Dad, we use it for Board Jerky. Shopify is literally the all-in-one e-commerce platform that you guys need if you want to start a business. So if you guys have a new business idea that you guys want to start, Shopify is the only tool you need to start, run, and grow your business and take it to the next level. They just make it so easy to get started. Like the beginning stages, I remember when we were doing it, it's so easy to start and use it. Shopify is there for you every step of the way. From like, did we just get our first sale phase, to did we just make our first million, to watching 300,000 people on our website at one time. Shopify is there for you every step of the way. So guys, if you guys have a dream and you're watching and you want to start a business, there's never gonna be a perfect time to do it. Start now. We have an exclusive offer for you guys. Go to shopify.com/fullsend for a $1 per month free trial. That is a sweet deal if I've ever heard one. Shopify.com/fullsend for a $1 per month free trial. If you have a business idea that you want to start, I'm telling you, Shopify is the king, no questions asked. Another thing I love about Shopify is their customer service, because things are gonna go wrong in your business. They're there for you every step of the way. Shopify also powers 10% of e-commerce worldwide, and they're in over 170 countries. Starting a business in 2025 has a nice ring to it, boys. So go to shopify.com/fullsend and get a $1 per month free trial. If you guys wanna take a chance and start a new business, that sounds pretty cheap. I believe in you guys, get it done, go to Shopify. We'll see you guys soon.
How did you like learn how to like be comfortable around like the predators and like stuff like that? Like for example, when we did the tribe video, we went out on the boat.
Yeah.
And Forrest pretty much told us that we were just going snorkeling. We're gonna see fish. And we get in the middle of the Pacific. It's the deepest blue water. Like you look down, you can't see anything. Forrest takes a fish, cuts up a bloody fish, puts a weight on his. We're all wearing life jackets.
Yeah.
This puts a weight on himself so he can sink, and puts the bloody fish in his belt, and then just starts swimming down to the bottom of the ocean with the water bottle, cracking it like this, and then all of a sudden we look down and there's 50 sharks around us.
I've been,
but like, so this is what I don't understand. Like, I was shitting myself when I saw that. Like, what happens if like 3 of those sharks just like charge at us? You have a bloody fish on your body.
Yeah, and those sharks were gnarly there too.
And they're chill, but they also would like speed up like crazy at certain times.
It's all calculated risks. So like, you can read a situation. I look at the ocean and I go, all right, how many sharks are there? How fired up are they? Are they going to attack? Am I safe?
How do you know that though?
So with sharks, and every single animal is different. With sharks, are their backs arched? Are their pectoral fins locked out? Are their eyelids rolling back in their head? Like, what are the signs of aggression? If a shark's lazily swimming around, it's not in an attack mode or aggressive mode. If it starts arching its back and locking its fins, it means it's going to snap. Like today when we were rolling around and I showed you Pancham, the tiger, I was like, see how he's flicking his tail? He's going to attack. What did it take? 30 seconds from when I said that, and he attacked. If you don't study those animals, though, whether that's reading or personal observation or anything, you'd never know that. So I can see by looking at these guys' body language, that animal's completely relaxed. You can go right up to the glass. He might want to play with you, but he's not going to attack you. Pancham, with the way he was hunched and his tail was flicking, that means he's aggressive.
But by then it's too late, right?
It's too late.
Like today we were walking by a tiger, and it completely just charged the fence.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And like everyone shit their pants.
Dude, Haney went flying.
I actually had to go to the bathroom and wipe a little bit, honestly. I think Gambles did too, for sure. Have you been in the ocean with great whites?
Oh, yeah.
In the water?
Oh, yeah. I'll take you by my house in Santa Barbara to do that.
To swim with great whites?
Yeah.
I don't know if I could do that.
It's pretty gnarly. You got to be in clear water. You got to judge the animals, like how are they behaving? What's their body language? And then
that's my biggest fear is sharks.
But at the end of the day, it's a risk no matter what. There's no way to, like, I don't care if you're friggin' Ocean Ramsey or any of these people who are like the best shark divers in the world. Every single time you get in the water with a shark, it's a risk. The shark can just change its mind. Just like people.
Yeah.
Like if you're like, all right, I'm gonna spar with somebody today, or start a bar fight, let's say. It might be 1 in 1,000, might be 1 in 1,000,000, but at some point somebody's gonna pull out a knife. You know what I mean? And that's how sharks are. That's how animals are. You can just find one that's just in a bad mood. And I've had a few of those where the shark just comes right at me.
Can you tell us a crazy shark story?
Oh, yeah, sure. Let's see. What's my craziest shark story? My craziest shark story is probably when I was working with this tiger shark in the Maldives, and it was coming in, and it was circling around, and I was like, okay, it's pretty chill. This is like a super wild tiger. It's never had people around. And all of a sudden it like took off. And I was like, oh, that was weird. Like it sped off at full speed. And I looked over my shoulder. And as I looked over my shoulder, this huge female tiger shark, I'm talking like 16, 17 feet, 2-ton tiger shark, comes swimming in and bumps the back of my head with her nose. And she was moving relatively slowly, but her eyes had rolled back in her head. So she was just there to bite. And as I did that, I went like that and like pushed her up. And literally another millisecond, and she would have like crunched into my head. But I somehow had my hand in like a good spot to close her jaw from the bottom and push her head up, and yeah, just luckily didn't take my head off.
That's so yeah, I don't know, like, yeah, with animals it's just so crazy because it's so out of your control.
Steve Irwin said it best, right? He's like, he was referring to crocodiles, but he goes, crocodiles are easy, they just want to kill you. People are much more complicated because they pretend to be your friend first. And it's so true. If you kind of live by that and just read the situation, it's like, yeah, I got it. I know. With a crocodile, he wants to eat me the whole time. There's no world in which he doesn't. Same with these things.
And was that your closest call ever with an animal?
Man, I've had some pretty gnarly ones. I'm trying to think what else. I mean, I got bitten by a snake that was pretty bad when I was younger. You know,
wasn't there a very close call with a lion?
Oh yeah. See, it's like it all fades out now. Yeah, I was darting lions in Zimbabwe, in southern Zimbabwe, and I was tracking this big male lion to collar him on foot, and I put a dart into him, and I was like, all right, he's going down, and then I tracked him for like another 5 minutes, and I was like, oh, he's falling asleep, let's move in. And basically as I reloaded the dart to move in, he took off and came right at me, and I just hit the ground flat. I was in full camo, and he was like drunk from the drugs, but he wasn't out, and he almost walked over me before I shot him again with the second dart. I mean, it was really close.
That's insane.
Yeah, it was nuts.
We went up to, I don't want to say it, Rajakesh, I think it's something like that.
Oh yeah,
It was
amazing,
insanely
right?
beautiful. We
Yeah.
met we met a monk there. We did whitewater rafting.
Oh
And then
really?
in yeah, we did whitewater
How was
rafting. We
that?
met like a monk.
Oh
Have
sick.
you ever like interacted with
I don't think so.
So this guy, he was pretty much in like an Osama bin Laden cave, like straight up.
Oh, I saw the picture.
It
Super
was
skinny old
like,
guy
so
with
we
the
walk
beard.
up, we're in like the middle of the mountains and we walk through a forest, and then he's in like this one like tomb. Like we literally had to crawl to get in,
Yeah.
and it was like pretty much pitch black in there. And then we had to crawl through like another cave, and then he was in like an
Whoa.
underground tunnel.
And he lives there.
And he lives there, and he was just like kind of had like white ashes on his face, and he was just completely like meditating. Like, and he does it all day.
That's wild.
So we got to sit with him and like kind of talk to him about why he chose that lifestyle and stuff.
Yeah.
But
did he talk to you? Was he?
yeah, he talked to us. But like we were sitting by him at first, and like he didn't move a muscle. Like he was just completely in his zone.
No,
Yeah.
you've had more crazy India experiences because I just come here for this. I just come here for the animals. You guys have seen and done way more than I have in India. Like,
It was pretty crazy.
What's the craziest part of your whole trip so far?
I mean, that was pretty cool. There's been like, we've gotten to see both sides now. Like now we've seen the spiritual side, which was
Yeah.
really cool. We got to talk to him. Baba, I guess he's a Baba. That's what they call it.
Okay.
I don't know.
Does that mean
But
I
I don't know what it means.
Huh.
But yeah, I mean,
Okay.
it was pretty cool. We talked to him. I guess so. His thing is, I guess in the Hindu religion, if you reach enlightenment, that means you won't be reincarnated. I don't know if
Okay.
that's completely accurate, but that's what he was. So he feels like that's why he meditates pretty much 24/7, is because he's like, he thinks he's reached that point in life.
Oh boy, like
So he
Salim.
just- Oh yeah. Actually, probably complete opposite of
Yeah.
Salim. Salim's complete opposite of Baba, pretty much. But we actually have like a pretty good fan base here too, which is crazy. We
I heard.
we went to the club the other night, and they like shut it down at 1:15 a.m. Like the cops pulled up. Like I guess they'd never seen
That
any
many people?
energy like that.
Oh,
Like
no
the fans
way.
were just like nuts.
Dude, I'm in our group text, and you're like, bro, there's some guy knocking on my door, like
Yeah,
4:30 in the
fans
morning.
are finding our room and
Yeah.
calling us and stuff. It's cool.
Yeah, I've been called the goat of broy conservationists. Like
You really are, for sure. Like you fit in with us so well. Like you are definitely an honorary Nelk.
I'll take it.
You're like a Nelk uncle as well.
Yes,
like
Nelk
you,
uncle.
Dana White.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I love that,
100%.
dude. And like, I am a bro, and you guys are bros, and we hit it off immediately. So I was like, bring these guys, man. Like, they're my friends. They'll love it here.
Yeah.
To show people animals. Like, I get a kick out of showing you guys stuff.
Yeah.
And I know that translates on camera.
Yeah.
So
How did you become close with Joe?
he hit me up on Instagram out of the blue, and he's like, bro, you have the coolest Instagram in the world. Come tell some stories on my podcast. This is like back in the day. And
When was the first time you ever went on there?
2017 or 18? It's been a minute.
Yeah.
I'd have to check that, but it's been a while. And he was like, just come hang out on the pod. And it was already a big pod, don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
it wasn't like what it is today.
Right.
And we hung out, we ran on the pod, and afterwards he's like, dude, I'm obsessed with wolves. I was like, do you want me to take you to meet some wolves? He's like, no way. I was like, yeah, I'm friends with the guys who run the Wolf Center in California. And I was like, yeah. He's like, when can we go? I was like, Wednesday? He's like, I'm in. I'll cancel everything. So I grabbed him, and we went and saw wolves and had a great day. And we've just been friends ever since.
Where'd you guys go for that?
It's called Wolf Connection. It's in like outside of LA, like 2 hours outside of LA, and they just rescue wolves. Like people get wolves as pets and think it's dope, but they live in like West Hollywood, and then a wolf is in like a 1-bedroom apartment. And so they just rescue all these wolves. And so I took him to meet some wolves there.
What'd you guys do? Did you guys like play with them and
Yeah,
stuff and pet them?
play wolves. I'll show you photos. We're scruffing them up and throwing like treats for them, and full on, because a lot of them were hand raised.
That's crazy. And then
Yeah.
you guys just stayed friends after that. And
He'll text me anytime he's like, is this real? Like, is this a real wildlife story? Like recently we were talking about like the largest crocodile in history, and I was explaining to him how like crocodiles grow until they die. It just slows down. So there could be 25-foot crocodiles. It just have to be really old. And he's like, where would that be? And it's similar to Anant. He's another wildlife nerd. Like he'll just text me wildlife nerd questions. And like, it's really cool that I've formed this like clique of friends like Joe Rogan, Anant Ambani, and a handful of others who are just super passionate about animals.
Mhm.
That's the thing we all have in common. Like my life, Joe's life, and Anant's life could not be more separate. But if we're in a room together, we're talking about one thing, and so it brings us all together.
yeah, it's crazy. Like, yeah, Joe's gotten so big too. It was crazy to just see how much of an impact too he played at the end of the election and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean,
With Trump, I was so happy that he had Trump on.
was that the first time that a president's ever been on a podcast? It probably is, right?
Maybe this election cycle.
But it was in my opinion, an undeniably a deciding factor for the election.
I think it was everything.
Yeah.
I think the fact that Trump went on Joe Rogan and Kamala didn't go on Joe Rogan.
Totally.
I think that showed everybody
Totally.
that Trump was capable of, like, because like Joe's such a trusted guy.
Yeah.
Like, you know that he's not going to sell out or he's not going to like be fake. Like, he's going to ask real questions too.
Right.
And I think the fact that Trump went on his show and like Kamala didn't, in my opinion, I think it was like a huge deciding factor.
I think so too. And I mean, it was sort of like, how real is this guy?
Exactly.
Right? Because that's what Joe Rogan.
You know,
is.
if you could sit down with Joe Rogan, it's just like
just a conversation.
It's just a conversation.
Yeah, and you know, whether they were good candidates or bad candidates, you never really knew who Kamala Harris was because you didn't listen to a 3-hour conversation with her ever, like as far as I was aware. So yeah, it just like it made people be like, oh, this guy's a good guy.
And it's just crazy. Like, I think it got, what, 40 million plus?
I don't know. Yeah.
Like, I don't know, just for such a normal guy to have that type of influence, it's like
crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, the world's changing. And for what you do and what I do, like the media landscape, it's really changing.
Mm-hmm.
I did all my come up in television and I'm still making TV shows. We got a bunch of series, a bunch of Shark Weeks and stuff coming out this year, but that's circling the drain.
Yeah.
You know, that's on its way out. And I'm having way more fun doing this stuff.
Yeah.
Dude, if I wasn't rolling around with you guys and the boys with the cameras today, like, that's way more fun than doing a Discovery Channel show.
100%.
Yeah. All we do is prank each other and have fun all day. Are you kidding me?
You're doing Shark Week this year?
Yeah, 2 of them.
So what is that? What does that consist of this year?
We got 2 different shows. First one's in Australia. And it's for a franchise that I've had for a number of years that really looks at like odd and bizarre sharks. I have to be careful what I say before they come out, but I mean, they'll take every view they can get at this point, I would say. But yeah, so that's a franchise I've had for 3 years now. And then the second one's an all new concept that'll be in Florida.
And do you enjoy doing stuff like that still? Or you like doing the media stuff now?
I like doing both of it. I mean, Shark Week's still media. It's big, you know, it's big TV thing. But Shark Week's fun, man. It's big production, big crew, a lot of people, you know, real budget, big boats. Like we fly on helicopters and get like giant boats that we charter, like yachts that we live aboard for up to a month at a time. Like it's a real expedition. Like one in South Florida isn't, but most of our other ones are like big deal.
They're going ham.
Oh yeah. Look at them having some games over there.
You just do the weirdest shit. Like the other day I hit Forrest up. I'm like, what are you doing this week? Like we're trying to figure out to do something or not. And you're like, oh, I got to go. You like castrate hippos in Colombia or some shit?
Yep.
What?
So I've been working with the Colombian government. Cornare is the organization, and they're in charge with trying to create a solution with the cocaine hippos. So Pablo Escobar he had a private zoo at Hacienda Nápoles, which was like his big base. He imported 4 hippos, and when he got gunned down by his enemies, they took all the animals and moved them to zoos, but they're like, we can't move these hippos. They're going to kill somebody. So they just opened the gates and let them out. Those 4 hippos have now multiplied to over 200 and growing. Like that number exponentially increases every year because they're reproducing so fast, because hippos are from Africa. They're not from Colombia. So Cornare, I'm friends with the guys that are in charge of that and stuff. And they're like, would you please come help us create a plan to solve this problem? So I was like, yeah, no problem. So me and the boys flew down there, built bomas, which are big giant traps, and caught hippos and cut their nuts off.
Did you guys film that or no?
Oh yeah, I filmed it all.
Holy, are you gonna put that out on YouTube?
No, it's a Discovery show. Yeah,
that's nuts.
It's pretty wild. It's a rodeo too, because
that's got to be one of the weirdest things you've done. No,
it's pretty weird.
Is there another weird request that you've ever got?
Weirder than cutting nuts off of hippos? I mean, no, that's probably the top.
Did you have to cut it yourself?
No, we do full field surgeries.
Oh, okay.
So you tranquilize
them.
Yeah, put them down, because you can't move a hippo, and you have to do it overnight because it's too hot there during the day. So if you tranquilize them during the day, they cook and die. They overheat and die. So you got to dart them at night, and then you're literally doing surgery from like 7 p.m. until like 2, 3 in the morning. And like if it's a female castration is way more complicated. So it's like big incision, full on like castration and close them up. And if it's a male, you just kind of but yeah, it's pretty wild. And hippos are a rodeo. Like they charge at you, and we're building these like pretty shitty bomas. The bomas collapse. It's crazy.
Damn. So that's got to be the craziest thing, or like the weirdest request you've ever gotten.
Dude, I mean, you know, catching hippos, cutting their nuts off, looking for lost species, finding eggs of really rare things to try and hatch them and bring them back, like reintroducing animals into the wild. It's just a full gamut, and I'll do any of them I have time for.
Is there a rare species you think that exists that you're like searching for?
You know, I spent a lot of time working on animals that were believed extinct, and I found 8 of them, 8 animals that had previously been lost to science. And those expeditions are so taxing. Like, you spend months in the field and hundreds of game cameras and like thousands of hours, and it takes huge amounts of money to do those expeditions. So I used to focus on them a lot. I'd love to do more in the future, but for now, I've sort of like opened the umbrella of conservation. I would rather be here helping reintroduce 42 Spix macaws back into the wild than looking for the last Spix macaw. Do you know what I mean? Like, finding the last one is amazing. It makes me feel cool as the guy who found it and all of that. But putting 42 of them back into the wild, that's like fixing the problem.
That's more useful. But is there any like rare like is there any truth to like Bigfoot or Loch Ness Monster?
I don't think so. I have a theory about Loch Ness Monster.
What?
It's a whale's.
Really?
I think so.
So what? Some Scottish guy was just out there hammered and he just saw whales.
Bro, I got to show you this picture. I don't know if you want to do phones on the pod, but
it's fine.
I have this side by side that I'll show you. And when whales get an erection, they have this long ass like red rocket.
Whales
like
have huge horns.
Huge. And I am fairly certain that some whales have come into the loch because it's connected and rolled over being horny. And at sunset, people are seeing this giant pink serpent and going, yeah, that's the Loch Ness Monster. Look at this thing. Hold on. I'll show you. You guys can put it on the pod.
Just what I wanted to do on a Monday night in India. Look at a whale's.
Dude, wait till you see it, though. Tell me that's not the Loch Ness Monster, though.
Damn.
Right?
That does look like the Loch Ness Monster.
Look at that sucker.
It was just a whale's the whole time.
It's whale, bro. I'm telling you.
Holy that makes sense. How about Bigfoot? There's no truth to Bigfoot.
No, I don't think so. People get so upset every time I say that because there's so many Bigfoot fanatics, but I don't think so. And there's like science behind that. You know, there has never been a great ape in North America. Bigfoot would be an ape. That's what it would be, right? Like a gorilla or something. Or there's no primates in North America. There are New World primates and Old World primates. Primates start in basically Central America. There's never been monkeys in North America. There's nothing for a Bigfoot to evolve from. There's no skeletal remains. There's never been one hit on a road. Like, There's just nothing there.
How about aliens? Are you an alien guy or no?
I'm pretty into aliens, yeah.
Do you do any work or research in that type of?
No, not at all. I think it's crazy to assume that we're the only life in the universe. I think that's insane. Now, I don't think there's like little green men floating around in spaceships, like living under the sea or anything. But I think to think that we're the only this is the only planet that houses life in an infinite number of planets is just bonkers crazy.
You think aliens have been here already? Because there's a lot of, not evidence, but like in the Egyptian times and stuff like that, all the paintings and.
I feel like there's a good chance that even pre-human time, something may have been here, whether that was aliens or civilizations that evolved before us or something like that. But I don't know. I'm a wildlife biologist. It's like outside of my realm. I just think, I just know that life can exist in other forms. I'll give you a perfect example. The bottom of the ocean. We always thought human beings, since the beginning of our time understanding life, always thought that the only reason we can live is because of sunlight, right? Sunlight, we're the perfect proximity from the sun, and the sunlight creates all life. All life on Earth is tied to the sun. It was only like 12 years ago now that they sent a submarine down to some deep sea volcano, and there's an entire ecosystem, not one or two species, but entire ecosystems thriving that never get any sunlight, entirely based off of hydrothermal vents, so like hot water coming out of the sea ocean. And they're like, oh, life here has evolved completely independently of sunlight, and we didn't know that. And we just found like 7,000 new species living down here. Like, it's basically like a whole nother planet. So everything we've ever understood up until that point about life is required for our planet to be a certain distance from the sun to create an atmosphere, blah, 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 is just like, nah, that's not true. So when you look at Pluto and you go, oh, nothing could live at Pluto, well, that's the same as saying nothing could live at the bottom of the ocean. You know what I mean? It's like there's a whole new planet there.
The Earth is such a crazy place.
Crazy.
Well, what's your theory on like life? Are you religious? Are you like science-based?
I'm not religious at all. I think when you die, but the only thing that I really believe in is karma. I think if you plan to do good in the world and put good out there, you get rewarded. I think the reason I've been successful is because I have given up countless relationships, friendships, money, everything to try and serve a higher purpose of conservation and save animals. And I swear that's the reason that I have a happy life and I have been financially successful. So I've given everything to this one thing.
I would say that's true for business and like success too. I think if you set out with a goal to just do what you're best at and do that to the best of your ability, or like, you know, if it's us, just worry about making people laugh.
Yeah.
The money always comes. That was always our strategy too. I think if you focus on that, it always works out, right?
What's your standpoint on religion? I've never asked you that.
I believe in God.
Yeah.
I just think that, like, I don't know. I think this earth is too crazy, too beautiful. Just like, it just seems like someone created all this.
Yeah.
Like, there's just too much insane things. Like, in terms of like natural beauty, like when you see like a sunset, or like when we're on the island, we see like, we look out at 5 a.m. and we see a double rainbow with like dolphins jumping in. I don't know. It's just like, I don't see how that could be an accident.
No.
It seems like someone like, it's just too beautiful to be an accident.
I love that outlook.
I don't know.
I mean, the world is perfect.
There's no evidence, but it's just like, I don't know.
Doesn't matter. Who cares?
And it's interesting too how like humans, we think we're so smart, but like also no one can kind of claim how we got here, or like we don't even know. No,
we know very little. I feel like,
which kind of shows how dumb we are at the same time, right?
It really does. Yeah. And what a blip of time we've been here for. If you think about the earth is millions of years old, or if you are, you know, very religious, 2,000 years old, whatever, 4,000 years old. But no matter how you slice it, humans have been here for like a blip of time. iPhones weren't around when we were kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And now it's like our whole life's on that thing. Like,
crazy.
It's like we've happened like that.
What's your ultimate goal with everything you're doing? And like, where do you see yourself ever like retiring, or do you think you'll just do this till you drop dead?
Like David Attenborough is what, 94, 96 now, and this is all he does. I mean, I can't imagine ever not doing this, to be honest. But every day feels like work to me, and at the same time, no days feel like work.
Yeah.
So I'm not like, oh, I get home at 9 p.m. and I'm like, what a stressful day. I'm exhausted. I have plenty of those days. But then I wake up the next day, and by 9 a.m., I'm like, I got to go back to doing that thing. I love it. I don't ever see retiring. I love doing what I'm doing. My ultimate goal, I used to be like, I'm going to change the world. I'm going to save all these species. This sounds terrible. I'll probably never say this out loud. I do still care about that, and I still want to save species as much as I can. My ultimate goal is just to have a kid, which happens to me. It happens to me every day of my life. A kid, a student in school, an old grandma, something, go, hey, because of you, I now care more about animals. That's it. If every person that I can touch, as many people as I can touch as possible, decide that they're going to like animals a little bit more, fall in love with wildlife a little bit more. Once you care about something, you want to protect it. And once we all want to protect it, it'll change the world. So all I care about at this point in my life is turning those individuals into people that care.
That's dope. I think you're doing a great job.
Oh, thanks, man.
All right. Well, we appreciate you, Forrest. And we just want to say thank you too to Mr. Ambani. This trip so far, and it's not even done yet. We're going to a wedding Friday. Yeah. We're going back to Mumbai. We have so much planned. We just want to say thank you so much. India has blown away my expectations.
That's
like
great.
When we posted we were coming here, everyone's like, why are you going there? Why are you going there? Like, no one understood. And I think until you come and like see it and like meet the people, like the people are so nice. Amazing people. Yeah. I think you just got to come and experience it. And then Ventara, you guys just got to wait for the Nelk video to come out, because what you're seeing here is just a little taste, but we're filming an entire Nelk India video that has everything in it. It'll probably be out the end of February. So thank you so much. And Forrest, we appreciate you. I mean, this opportunity's been insane.
Anytime.
And I feel like, Forrest is pretty much a Nelk boy now. So we have like 2 more videos planned.
We got one in like a month.
We have one in a month. We won't say what it is. Yep. It's kind of similar to our Bachelor video. It's another spin-off of like a reality show. And then are we doing Antarctica in November?
I'm working on it.
Okay.
I'm working on it.
So we're just going to keep doing these adventures with Forrest. We love him. He's like a Nelk uncle as well, honorary Nelk boy. And we're going to have some fun this year. We appreciate you, bro.
I'm so stoked you're here.
Let's get it.
And really, really quick before we get into it, boys, fullsend.com. We have some brand new pieces. We have hoodies. We have matching sweatsuits. I love the sweatsuits when I travel. I wear them all the time. We have new UFC full send shit. We just did a big restock and a revamp. So go to fullsend.com, cop a piece. I recommend the sweatsuits. I love them. Like I said, I wear them all the time, the matching sweats. I don't travel without them. They're super, super comfy. You can melt in them. So go to fullsend.com, grab a piece. Let's get into the pod.